July 4, 1991. While America celebrated Independence Day, the U.S. Navy commissioned a warship that would change naval warfare forever. Her name, USS Arleigh Burke. Today, 34 years later, she's still sailing, still fighting, still feared. China just built something bigger, something newer, something they call a super destroyer. 13,000 tons of steel, 112 missile tubes, the most advanced radar system Beijing has ever deployed, and it still can't beat the ship America built in 1991. This is the story of why experience beats size, why maturity defeats modernity, and why the oldest warrior in the fleet is still the deadliest. On paper, it's not even a contest. The Type 055 is massive, a cruiser disguised as a destroyer, 180 meters of stealth, power, and Chinese ambition. The Arleigh Burke, smaller, older, built when the Soviet Union still existed. But here's what the specs don't tell you. Naval combat isn't won by the biggest ship, it's won by the smartest fleet. And the US Navy has something China can't buy, steal, or reverse engineer. 3 decades of combat data, 74 ships sailing right now, and a radar system that can see threats the Type 055 doesn't even know exist. Welcome to the battle between the new and the proven. Let's give credit where it's due. The Type 055 is impressive. It's China's most ambitious surface combatant ever built. A warship designed to do one thing: escort their aircraft carriers into the deep blue ocean and dare anyone to challenge them. 112 vertical launch system cells. That's more missile capacity than any American destroyer. Universal cells, meaning they can launch anti-ship missiles, land attack cruise missiles, anti-aircraft missiles, and anti-submarine rockets from the same tubes. Hot launch, cold launch, doesn't matter. The Type 055 can fire it. Then there's the radar, a dual-band system, 4 massive S-band panels called Dragon Eye, 4 smaller X-band panels for precision tracking. Chinese state media claims this radar can guide anti-satellite missiles, can track hundreds of targets simultaneously, can see farther than anything America has ever built. And the stealth? Next level. Enclosed forecastle, integrated mast, every surface angled to scatter radar returns. The Type 055 looks like the future, and that's exactly the problem, because looking like the future and surviving the present are two very different things. Now let's talk about what the Arleigh Burke has that no Chinese destroyer can match. A brain that's been learning for 34 years. It's called AEGIS, the most advanced combat management system ever created, and the newest Arleigh Burke destroyers. They're equipped with something called the AN/SPY-6 radar. Here's what that means. The SPY-6 is 30 times more sensitive than the radar that came before it. 30 times. It can detect an object half the size at twice the distance. A stealth cruise missile skimming 10 feet above the water? The SPY-6 sees it. A ballistic missile arcing through space? The SPY-6 tracks it. And here's the kicker. The Aegis system doesn't just see threats, it shares them. Every Arleigh Burke can link with every other ship in the fleet. They share sensor data, fire control, targeting information. One ship's radar becomes the fleet's radar. It's called Cooperative Engagement Capability, and it turns 74 individual warships into one networked weapon. The Type 055, it fights alone. But wait, there's more. Remember when I said the Arleigh Burke is a 30-year-old design? That's only half true. The hull is 30 years old. The technology inside? Cutting edge. Flight 3 Arleigh Burkes are entering service right now with directed energy weapons, high-energy lasers called Helios, optical dazzlers to blind enemy drones, and the Naval Strike Missile, a ship killer that can navigate autonomously, fly low over water, and strike targets beyond the horizon. The Arleigh Burke isn't aging, it's evolving, and that brings us to the one capability that separates these two ships more than any other: ballistic missile defense. Here's what China doesn't want you to know. The Type 055 has been operational since 2020, 5 years. In that time, it's escorted aircraft carriers, participated in exercises, looked menacing in propaganda videos, but it's never fired a shot in anger. The Arleigh Burke? Let me show you its resume. Operation Desert Strike. Tomahawk missiles launched from Arleigh Burkes struck targets deep inside Iraq. Operation Desert Fox. Same story. Syria, Libya, Yemen. Arleigh Burke-class destroyers have fired more cruise missiles in combat than any other warship in history. But that's not the impressive part. In 2016, a U.S. destroyer off the coast of Yemen detected incoming anti-ship missiles. Houthi rebels, Iranian-backed, deadly. The ship's Aegis system tracked them, calculated intercept solutions, and fired SM-2 missiles, ESSM interceptors, Nulka decoys. Every incoming threat was destroyed. Then, in 2024, an Arleigh Burke made history. An Iranian ballistic missile was detected, not aimed at a ship, aimed at a land target. The destroyer's crew had seconds to react. They fired an SM-3 interceptor, a missile designed to kill other missiles in space. The intercept happened at the edge of the atmosphere, a direct hit. The first time in history an Aegis ship destroyed a ballistic missile in actual combat. Now ask yourself, when has the Type 055 done anything close to that? The answer is never, because you can't fake combat experience. You can't download it. You can't copy it from stolen blueprints. You earn it. One engagement engagement at a time. But here's the secret. China really doesn't want you to know. Naval warfare isn't about having the best ship. It's about having the best fleet. And the numbers? They're not even close. China has built 8 Type 055 destroyers. They plan to build 16 total. 16. The United States? 74 Arleigh Burkes are sailing right now. 74. And the Navy isn't stopping. 99 are planned by the time production ends. That's a 6-to-1 advantage when both fleets are complete. But it gets better. 51 of those Arleigh Burkes are ballistic missile defense capable. 51 floating shields protecting America and her allies from ballistic missile attack. 4 of them are forward deployed to Rota, Spain, right now, defending Europe as part of NATO's missile defense network. The Type 055? Maybe it'll have ballistic missile defense someday. Maybe. But the Arleigh Burke is doing it today. In the Atlantic, in the Pacific, in the Mediterranean. Everywhere that matters. And here's the final edge. Every Arleigh Burke was designed with lessons from the Falklands War. In 1982, the British destroyer HMS Sheffield was hit by a single Exocet missile. The ship had an aluminum superstructure. It melted. The crew couldn't fight the fire. The ship was lost. The US Navy watched and learned. The Arleigh Burke is all steel construction. Double-spaced steel layers for shock absorption. 130 tons of Kevlar armor around vital spaces. It was built to take a hit and keep fighting. The Type 055 was built to look impressive. The Arleigh Burke was built to survive war. So let's answer the question. Why can't China's newest, biggest, most advanced destroyer beat a ship that's older than most of the sailors serving on it? Because the Arleigh Burke was never just a ship. It's a philosophy that says adapt or die, evolve or become obsolete. China built the Type 055 to win a naval race. America built the Arleigh Burke to win a naval war. And there's a difference. One looks good in a parade. The other has fired missiles in anger, stopped ballistic threats in space, protected allies on 3 continents. One has potential. The other has proof. China has 8 super destroyers. America has 74 combat veterans. And they're getting smarter every single day. The Type 055 might be the future, but the Arleigh Burke, it owns the present. And in naval warfare, the present is where wars are won. This is Civic Shadows, where the future of power is written by those who master the present. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and remember, America's strength isn't in building the biggest ship, it's in building the best Navy.